Fastest I've seen you move, dude.
I know, right? Welcome to the show, everybody, with Mike and Jay. Shalom, Biggie. I was like, yeah, E, you can hit it whenever, because I know people are E's sick. Everyone's got shit to do, so I don't want to hold it up. And as I go, hit it, E, I look down and I realize I've got like a swallow left of water. So I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna grab a water. As I'm saying, I'm just gonna grab a water from this basement fridge down here. E hit it. I was like, well, that's the fastest you've ever fucking hit the intro when I've asked you to, E.
Not really. I usually ask you twice, and then I hit it. I asked you twice, and I hit it.
Oh, Jesus. Did you not notice me stand up?
Nah, I guess not, dude. I mean...
It's all right. Anyways, shalom, Biggie. Hello, Jay.
Hello, Michael.
How are you, my
Very
friend?
well, thank you.
Oh, I'm traumatized.
What happened?
Oh, pants is hurting.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. He walks up by the door. He's just like, oh, don't mind me. Limping along, his backhand.
See, that's one of the shitty things about outdoor cats, you know?
Yeah.
They're out there, and what, a raccoon messed with him or something?
Steve, I'm thinking maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he fell out of that tree he was stuck in for 3 days.
I was just gonna say,
3 days.
He hasn't been an outdoor cat all that long, and the most trouble he gets into is maybe he finds himself in a tree for a couple weeks. But other than that, he's fully capable. He's got all his swords on his fingers, so he could fuck people up too. But then he comes on, and I'm like, "Are you faking it? Are you trying to get you're like Peanuts here, getting all this attention?" And you're like, "Oh, don't mind me." She's just she's got her right backhand just hanging there, and I'm like, "Did you roll an ankle? What did you do, man?"
You just call pants a she? I'm confused.
Yeah, I do that because Peanut is a she, and so
Got it.
And E's constantly calling pants a she, and
No, I
the
just
dog
call
a
all
he.
animals he usually, for whatever reason.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
well,
got confused
me too,
there because
but
I always heard he was a he.
Well, he is, but yours, it's weird. Moose and Tank, both girls. I
Absolutely.
mean, makes no fucking sense at all. But teach their own.
I was told not to get dude cats because they piss everywhere. So
They
that's been my
can,
thing.
yeah. Female ones can too, especially if they're sick and they think their litter box is attacking their vagine when they sit down. Problem with chick ones though is they dip their vagine into the sand, into the cat litter.
Really?
And so they get urinary tract infections that dudes don't.
Ugh.
Yeah. So
Something to watch for.
yeah, if you start seeing them, getting, because that's when they'll piss. They'll be like, oh, "Dad, what was I gonna do? The box was biting my box," and so they're not smart enough to think that it's their rotten vagine.
Back to pants. Is pants leg all right?
I don't know. I was getting ready. I was like, "Hey guys, I might be slowed up. I'm gonna take pants in," and right before I did, after I said that to you guys, I was like, "Hey Beth, she's at work, so she can't do anything." She's like, "Why don't you just wait on that? That'll be expensive as shit. I'll come over later and we'll check her out and see, or check him out and see, what the deal is." And so anyway, he's just laying around the house now.
Godspeed,
Yeah,
pantalones.
so he's not going outside right now, and it's too bad. And I just know if I let Peanut out, Peanut's gonna chase, and it's just awful. So, and more importantly, it's gonna be expensive, I think. And it's like, what do you do? Do I spend $200?
I brought my burlap sack if you want to borrow it.
No, I don't
I
think we're at
anticipated
that
this.
level. But how much would you pay before you're like,
Dude, not that much. I don't even want to say it in public. Honestly.
I know, right? It was like, there's got to be a number, right? Where you're like, you had a good run, my friend.
I saw, you know what, dude?
Because what is it to take them down to Chinatown? If you don't want to do the whole burlap sack and hammer thing, if you want to go into it proper, $100? Is that what they rape you for?
It's
to
a
do
little
that?
north of 100.
Is it?
But not.
But so if it's like, I really like this guy, but
I
they want
love Moose and
$400
Tank. They're great, but yeah, you get in the 400 range.
Yeah, I know, right?
We're talking about food on the table for the kids and the family, or
Yeah, it's
a
tough. It's a
cat's
tough call.
vagine.
For those listening, I'm not going to murder pants for $400.
But
That's
I
not
did
gonna
bring
happen.
my burlap sack. I am on
Yeah.
record. I have it in the car.
But when you're talking about $150 maybe for them to needle shoot them, it's like, or for free with Jay and his burlap sack. I mean, that's at least something to consider.
That's
I
a
mean,
totally different conversation. I thought you were asking how much would I spend to get my cat healthy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
that's-
I'm in that 4 to.
Yeah.
Four-
Have you
man,
planned the
north of 4
conversation with the kids?
I hadn't thought about that.
It's something you got to think of because you never know. One of them comes down with rotten vagine one day, and it's like, $350 in antibiotics. Anyone seen my burlap sack, kids? And then you just, because one of those cats you're not crazy about. It's very unhealthy and fat. And you
That's
guys are
Moose.
That's Moose, yeah. So Moose, I think you would be.
Little Tank, so pretty.
I know
love
Tank, yeah. But I think you'd pay an extra $50 for Tank's life, right?
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
I'd go more for Tank than Moose. Yes.
Moose, it's like You listen here, you fat son of a bitch. You so much has cost me $50, and you're going down to
Oh, yeah.
Chinatown.
She's walking on thin ice.
Yeah, she knows it. She knows she's got that going against her.
Last year when I took Tony in for that, he'd been having issues, man, and my parents were gonna make me, out of at least off my credit card, somewhat pay for whatever. And dude, I remember thinking the same thing, like, what am I gonna really do? Then I got him in there, man.
Oh,
and they're
yeah,
like,
it's brutal,
And they're
dude.
like, I was just like, I don't know,
Take
do what
care
you
of this
gotta
in 2
do,
minutes,
I
man.
guess.
$50. We'll take care of this in no time.
And then if you remember, they wanted to do a urinalysis, like a sample of his urine, and they couldn't force him to go because I think he goes a lot because it turns out he had some kidney issues, so he's been going a lot. So then they told me, well, you can.
Are you recording, by the way, E? I didn't ask you. I just
Yes,
want to
I
make
am.
sure. Okay.
I am.
Before we get any further down the
Yes.
road here.
But like they're like, well, you gotta do this from home. And so I don't know if you remember this, but I had to
You had to milk him.
yeah, well, no, I had to empty his whole litter box out, put this little amount of absorbent kitty litter
Yeah,
in,
that stuff
and then go in
sucks,
there with
doesn't
a
work.
needle. No, it worked. I had to go in with a needle or a syringe and pull out his urine, and
Yeah.
then put it in a little cup. And then take the cup into the vet, and
Yeah.
I did it, and I can't fucking believe I did that. To be honest with you, I don't think I would do that for my sister.
They
or
gave you all
brother.
the tools required, though. You didn't go shopping for
No, they
syringes.
gave you everything, but like we left him. But it's like what I ended up doing is just like leaving him in a closet, kind of. Put the thing there, but water in there for him, and I just like got up every hour in the night to make sure like
He loves
that
his boy
pissed.
Tone.
He does. He does love Tony. I was going to say, well, what's the number that you would go, all right, Tony, you had a good run and walk out. But I think he would kill a family member, at least a relative. Maybe not one of the
No.
immediate 5 in the household, but definitely a cousin, an
Don't
aunt, and
know,
uncle you
man.
would put down before Tony. I firmly believe that.
But on the same hand, I also believe I'm not someone who would prolong life if I felt like I'm not just going to prolong it to prolong it. Like it'd be more. The different question is, can you pay $500 and he'll legit like fix something for like possibly 2 years, or is it, dude, this dude is not actually like living a good. I wouldn't be selfish or stupid like
Pragmatic.
he
like,
is.
He's a switch of stuff Tone. Standard issue tabby
Oh
as
my
he is.
goodness.
Not a bad
Stuff
idea,
him
dude.
after
Great
death.
question, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You got to think about that. What do they call that?
Taxidermy.
Taxidermy. Could you imagine? You'd have Tony for life, dude.
I think
In what
I'd
pose?
consider it.
Yeah, what pose would you use?
Well, Tony-
Would you ever consider like having him sit there, like suck it, like doing
He
the
doesn't
beats
sit like
Or
that.
doing
I'd
the,
have to
the
have
leg
Tony.
up when he's licking his butt. You know how they
Yes,
do that? It's
that's
an
a
amazing move. It just goes boom up in the air.
I wonder how many people would know, like how many times you'd have to come over and be like, God, every time I come over, that cat's licking its balls. What's going on with that thing?
I mean, you guys are being whatever you're being. If I were to stuff him, I mean, I would pick. I guess he has like one of 3 the loaf where they sit in that loaf position.
Yeah.
Because
I
he
know the
sits
loaf.
like that.
Yeah, the loaf's a good one.
Or the circle because he sits in the circle.
Yeah, the
a lot.
circle's popular.
So-
Or the sitting,
common, very
or the,
common.
The sitting up like a China doll.
Yeah,
that's
a
probably
great
what I
one.
would do, I guess.
That's a good one to think of because the circle. It's just so common. The circle lay.
I know. But that's
you
how
know what?
Tony
I wonder if
sits.
you could do this, and if this isn't a business, we should come out with this. You know how you've got bendy straws where you can at the top you can
familiar.
Yeah. What if we did bendy joints on taxidermied cats so you could have multiple poses?
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
You know what I mean? Like you could have him just like flexing.
Yeah, I wonder, man. I
I'm
wonder if
trying to
anyone's
think-
done that.
I'm just more
not
trying
a
to
bad
think about
idea,
the
right?
idea of if I would stuff him. I think that I never even considered it, but now
Stuff
I
him
have.
up proper,
Right now, why
Yeah,
not?
He's your
You're
buddy. He's your guy.
You wouldn't do
right.
it yourself, right? You'd hire someone to do
right.
it.
God no, I couldn't touch it.
I just started stuffing cotton balls in his butt.
I mean, it's one of those things. Like we have had 3 cats in my life. One is dead and he's buried in the backyard. I know exactly where he's buried. and
Yeah,
I
you
still
seen
think
Pet Cemetery? You sure?
Yeah,
You sure
exactly.
he's
Okay,
there?
well, in
Sure
my
he's still
mind,
there?
I know exactly where he is. So I think about him every time. But the other one went out one day and didn't come back. So I don't even know where
so
that
he's
dude
still
is.
there in the backyard. Who is this now?
Cecil is the one
Cecil.
that's buried back there.
Great name, man. I gotta give it up. Cecil's not
It
bad.
rivals Moses. It really is a great cat name.
How much, Jay, do you think? What is the amount that we would need to fork over to have E dig that fucker up and bring it in to see what condition it's in now?
Oh, God.
$10?
would-
Dude, that's $10 you didn't have.
35. I'll go 35
You guys
out
are
of my
really,
pocket.
Lately, you guys have really been underestimating how much I would do things for money. I think.
See,
Like
he's paid
10
too much.
bucks.
He's overpaid.
That's what's happened.
He's not being
gotten
driven by
fat
money
and
now.
happy.
I've never been. driven
He's
by money.
fucking jet
Dude,
set
5
lifestyle.
years ago, he'd have been like, fuck, I'll do it for 35.
Now I have to, and we go, well, how much more? Another $5? We eat its hand, and he go, yeah, probably. Yep, I guess I
No.
would.
Sorry.
Now he's
Overpaid.
like, well, yeah, I'm jetting all over the country and stuff. I don't need any of
Pooping
this.
on floors in New York.
Saving cash. The son of a bitch is saving cash.
I know. That's what you do.
Jesus.
Sorry.
Come up with a
Fault.
number. I'm interested. I want to know what condition it's in now.
Man,
I mean, dude, when was that? When I'm trying to think what year that would have been. Fuck.
Easus, it's time for you to call Mark Leibovitz, our friend over at LPL Financial. Saving money and all, as you are. You have an annual physical to make sure that you're healthy. What do you do each year to make sure that you remain financially fit? Our friend Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial specializes in thoughtful and objective investment guidance designed to keep your finances in shape. So call Mark today, 248-626-2000. Ask for Mark.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC. That might have been 94-ish. So that's how long, whatever he's been doing. Whatever's
I
been
can't
happening.
imagine it's in great condition. Does hair withstand, or would this just be a box of bones?
I
Yeah,
don't
was he
kn-
in a box?
He was,
How'd you
no,
bury him?
I believe it was maybe not the burlap sack.
Wrap
but
him up in a
wrap
towel
him
or
up in
Man,
something,
worms have
yeah.
gotten to him. For
I
sure.
know.
Cecil is not going to look good.
I know. I think
Actually, you might look pretty sweet. Just a
Maybe.
skeleton of a cat.
94 to 2004. I mean, this is
2000.
closing in on a couple decades, man.
2019.
No, I know. 2000, I was
re-
just doing 10
oh,
years
yeah,
from
yeah. I
94 to
understand.
04 to 14. So did you say 94? So it's
Ish.
over 20 years that thing's been in your backyard in like a Kroger bag?
Dude, you know what's fucking? And I know you guys. It's all. This is just how life works. You guys are older than me. I'm older than than Jay's kids, for example. But like, I'm hitting those periods.
true statements. I
No,
mean-
but like when you say 94, you're
Very
like,
observant.
No, but 94 to like 2014, I realize that I'm in this place where I don't. I think I still see the 70s as like 30 years ago. Like I think of the 70s as just like going back from 2000. Like I don't see it as the fact that now we're literally like that's 50 years ago. It's just I don't know. I just noticed that when
It's
you
not, but close. I know what you're saying.
70. I mean, if you went from 70,
You said
it's
the 70s, but okay.
Okay, well, you know what I'm saying, though.
I don't know why.
Actually,
how
I
that's
don't
relevant.
know what he's
'Cause-
saying.
No, I don't either. I
Because
don't know
you
what the
sat there.
point of this was.
I thought about it when you sat there and said you said 94. Okay,
Well, I vocalized my math. We're supposed to show our math now. It's Common Core. So I was saying 94 to 2004 to 14 is 20 years. And
Little
then,
glimpse into how Mike's brain works.
yeah,
right
a
there.
little behind the scenes action. So it spun you into some weird place about the 70s being 50 years
not
old.
really, but you know what's funny? That's whatever.
It's almost
That's-
literally exactly how it went, really. I mean,
that is so something that you could have brought up yourself, and then Jay would have said, "You're right, you're right." And
maybe
then I
if
brought
I would
it
have
up.
if I would
and
have
then-
proposed it better.
Proposed
Literally,
it better?
yeah. I mean, we were both a little perplexed. Where's he
yeah.
going with this? I know you're sick.
I feel the same about a lot of your statements, and to be honest,
Oh,
with
okay.
you,
We're not
I-
talking about my faults right now, E. We're on yours. Stop changing the subject. God, he always does that.
You gonna eat a dead cat foot or what? My
For
God,
35.
Isis.
No, we said $40. We give you an extra $5 if you eat that. He would have 4 years ago. That's all I know. People that won't be eating cat feet or anything like that are those poor bombers in Sri Lanka. Did you see the video of some of these guys? The one guy with this like backpack really heavy.
No, I didn't see
And he
this.
walks in and he pats a little girl on the head as he walks into the
Wow.
place seconds before detonating. Unbelievable. So, yeah, one of the Easter Sunday suicide bombers. I love that that's what they're calling them instead of Muslim extremists or anything like that. We're calling them the Easter Sunday suicide bomber. Not even Christian, you know. That's something you'll notice when you read most of these stories. It's the Easter bombings. Ooh, what is that? Were just some people gathering in a church for some weird reason? So, anyways, yeah, he pats his little girl on the head. ISIS has come out and claimed responsibility.
Hey, they're kind of like, is anybody gonna claim this? Because if not,
Right? Like, and I was looking at the stats, dude. I mean, ISIS gets a lot of respect in the terrorist world. You know what I mean? And I think if you really break down the numbers, they are not as powerful as you would think. I mean, Al Qaeda whoops their ass as far as like if you're trying to get a body count.
total death toll, huh?
Yeah, I mean-
Al-Qaeda's killing it.
Yeah, well, ISIS is like, yeah, you've lopped off some heads, you've done some, some stunts that have made the news and whatnot, but by and large, I mean, when you look at the numbers, the sheer numbers
You're
alone.
talking about operations like around the world.
Yes.
Al-Qaeda's way bigger, huh?
Yes, I mean, and I just didn't know. Like, you've got September 11th, and this puts Al Qaeda out to a huge
Huge
lead.
lead. Good head start.
Oh, 2009-77. The next closest one is the truck bomb in Somalia. In 2017, 512 people. No one claims responsibility for this one, which is odd. It's widely blamed on the Shabab Islamist group linked with Al Qaeda. So, then you've got the four-sided truck bombs in Iraq in 07, more than 400 people. Al Qaeda militants. Islamist Chechen rebels seizing that school in Russia, 330 people. That was a commando of Islamist Chechen rebels. Let's see. After 52 hours of negotiation, they had about 1,200. Now, this wasn't hashtag Bring Back Our Girls, was it?
No, that was Nigeria, right?
Okay, yeah. So they've got 1,200 hostages, 800 children. About 52 hours of negotiation. Special forces finally storm in like, fuck these guys. More than 330 civilians and security forces are killed. 186 kids. A Chechen warlord claims responsibility. I didn't know we had a lot of warlords still kicking around. You know what I mean?
really, man.
It's weird. Minibus explosion in Iraq. Finally, we get to the Islamic State. 323, not bad, but explosive packed minibus blows up in a Shiite shit area in Baghdad, crowded with shoppers just before the end of the fasting month of Ramadan. But, you got to get down the list before you even see ISIS represented in there. I was shocked by that. So the terrorist that we see, do you have the video of him, E? He's walking into sauntering towards St. Sebastian's Church in Gambo, wearing a large backpack. Yeah, and so it's a crude device made locally that was used to massacre the Christians that were going to church there. Is that the same one, E? Is that the one who pats the girl on the head when he walks by? Go ahead.
I mean, it literally says on the thing, bomber pats child on the head. So
Oh, okay.
unless there's two videos of that.
No, maybe. That's a different angle than I remember.
He's bearded up proper.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Yeah, big backpack.
Yeah, this thing's heavy. Yeah, this is the angle. See right here, this little girl? Yeah, there you go. There you go, sweets. Little patty pat. Doesn't he look labored as he's walking with that backpack?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Sort of hunched over. Looks heavy as fuck.
could you drop me off at the front door? And then, boom. I don't think they showed. Did they show the
I didn't watch it, so.
shortly thereafter? Yep. Look
Yeah,
at that.
here he comes,
Dude,
right
isn't
up the
that-
side.
Wouldn't you just go, dude? What's with the fucking backpack? You wanna have a Bible under your arm?
Just a packed church.
Yeah. These people
Oh,
have no
man.
idea what's coming. Isn't that just brutal?
Yeah.
Nice job, fuckface. Nice job. Hope it's worth it. Good job. Glad you believe everything you're told by a bunch of fucking bearded goat fuckers. Nice job. Earlier today, the State Minister of Defense, Ruwan, I won't even bother with the last name. Is Ruwan acceptable enough for
Sure.
everybody?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. He's told Parliament preliminary investigations suggested the coordinated blasts were in retaliation for the attack against the Muslims in Christchurch. Bullshit. I don't buy that for a second. That was when Brenton Tarrant slaughtered 50 people, in the two mosques in New Zealand, while live streaming on Facebook. So at the end, so we see the guy go into the church with this heavy bag. He touched my granddaughter's head on the way past. It was the bomber. ISIS propaganda agency. Did you know they had a propaganda agency?
Absolutely, yeah. They're very well organized with their propaganda.
Yeah. So is that like an outside agency they hired? Like who's taking
They
that
give them
gig?
15%.
Is that what it is? Yeah. Part of ISIS propaganda agency. It's like, so are they
what they're-
taking applications online?
That's one piece of it that they're really, really good at and have been forever, right? Is putting the
Yeah.
propaganda online with
Yeah,
compelling videos.
I know. I'd love to get a hold of their IT guys. I mean, they really get the message out.
Unbelievable video editing.
Yeah. So today they were like, no one's claimed it yet. I mean,
I know.
Fuck,
It's
that's
just,
an easy.
it's just lying there. It's like
Yeah.
yesterday we mentioned that group that had previously done some vandalism.
Yeah.
That they were speculating, okay, they ramped it up and they did these bombings.
It just seemed like
ISIS is
such a
sitting there going,
leap.
Okay,
You know what I
does
mean?
anybody want this or not? Because we're going to take this one.
Yeah. Well, it just seemed like too big of a leap to go from God hates fags spray painted on walls
Yeah.
to coordinated attack like this, all this stuff going on. I like your point about this. Like, are we giving these assholes too much credit for the time and energy and planning that goes into this?
Yes, that's always been my thing.
I know. It's a great point because you see these people like,
Oh, masterminds, absolute masterminds.
geniuses to put what? To stuff a bunch of fucking screws and nails into a
And then go, hey,
pipe
everybody,
bomb.
at 1 o'clock, get to your spot and blow it. We on? Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, I mean-
that's all it takes.
Yeah. So ISIS took responsibility for the blast. They did not provide any evidence, but I'm like, dude, anything that happens all over the world that's just kind of borderline evil, take it.
I know.
What are people going to call you out on it? Like, oh, your bigger dick's even more now. But I mean, dude, it would like solidify your game.
I
Wouldn't
agree.
It?
They've been highly criticized lately with Trump saying that they're done and
Yeah.
over with and so forth. So this would be a great one to just pick up and run with.
I don't know who the GM is, who the general manager is of ISIS, but we were laughing at them. I think they made a huge error in claiming responsibility for the dickwads that drove to Texas and just got taken out before they even opened their doors.
There was the Muhammad cartoon contest,
Yes.
right? And this was a few years ago. And these two assholes jump in their
Yeah.
car and they drive hundreds, 1,000 miles, right?
We
to get there.
suspected they're just listening to whatever the prayer of whatever is, just ding ding ding
Just
ding
getting
ding ding.
fired up.
Yeah, we're gonna fucking kill these sons
They
of bitches.
pull up to the front entrance to this thing, get out, and just two security guys just mow them down.
They're just
man.
like, what is this son of a bitch coming in hot to the Mohammed?
Allah!
They're just like shooting
Yeah.
weapons out the car. Some
Some Texan, boom, boom.
took them down instantly. And the best part is they got like one round that bounced off the cement and hit one of those guys in the toe. That's smarts. But ISIS were like, yes, that one is ours. We will claim that. It's like, what are you claiming? You guys made a fool of you. You look unorganized, unprofessional, rank amateurs at best. In a shit car, mind you. Not even a Toyota pickup truck.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, the Prime Minister, Ranil, I'm just going to call him Ranil. We're not even going with a last name on this one, okay?
I'm fine with that.
Everyone cool with that? Great. Admitted today there may be some links with ISIS, the National Tawhid Jamath or whatever. The NTJ, who were the subject of an intelligence warning 10 days ago.
Freudian slip there.
Absolutely. It's like Martin Luther King Day. You know what I mean? We've seen people fall into that trap before.
What's that one again?
Martin Luther Kuhn.
Oh, right.
When they go, Martin
Yeah.
Luther Kuhn King Day.
Who'd that happen to this year? It happened to somebody.
Yeah, it did. And that
The
guy's
weatherman
suing.
somewhere.
Weatherman
Was it a
Yes.
weatherman?
I
He
thought
was a
so.
news guy for sure.
And he got
Okay.
nixed.
Yeah,
it
they
was a
fired him,
weatherman.
and then they were like, "There will be no tolerance." Blah, 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 blah. They
As
went
if
on and
the
on.
guy's gonna stand up there.
I'm gonna say it. I swear to God, dude, believe me. I'm gonna say Martin Luther Kuhn Day on the fucking news. I'm gonna do it. And so this guy's like, dude, remember the GM was like, couldn't get out there fast enough to make a statement going, this sort of thing will not be tolerated on
Yeah.
any station. He kept dropping the name of his station, NBC7 Chicago, whatever it was.
Zero tolerance.
That guy's suing the shit out of the station, the GM, and all kinds of stuff. And I don't blame him.
Mm-hmm.
That guy literally went out and was just like, "Yeah, this was malicious, done on purpose. We fired him." Blah blah. And the guy's like, "Dude,"
Ruined the guy.
and there's evidence.
One slip of the tongue.
Lots of evidence. We've seen other guys do that. The same one.
Yeah.
And I-
Like linguistically, it's a common
Yes, it's a very common. There's a thing. There's a like a defined thing that is, and I think it's the Martin Luther King, like
Makes you wanna
Luther
stay with the
Kuhn.
ooh.
Yes,
Yeah.
something like that. Because he's not the first one. There's been a couple. We played examples of people saying that. and
Crazy.
slip up, and yeah, I thought that was really unfair.
So
to
we'll
do one of
chalk
those
up
guys.
your towel head comment to that.
Yeah, I
Just
didn't mean
that. You didn't mean
And
it.
dude, it's Tawhid.
Yeah,
like
you
towel
didn't
head.
mean it, man.
No, not the National Towelhead Jamath. I didn't mean that. I did not mean Towelhead Jamath. I meant National Tawhid Jamath.
we know
Yeah.
what you meant, man. It's
I'm gonna
all
say-
about the intent.
I'm going to say
It was great. This is the way it looked out at Martin Luther King Jr. Park.
guilty.
Get rid of him.
He needs to never work again,
Never.
ever. The guy's like, I love everybody. Why would you say that?
You can't really see them because it's just all. This was the same video we had back then. We never had actual like really great video of it. It was just.
Why would a
like,
TV crew have good video of their anchor saying that? I mean, it's just weird. How weird is it?
Great. This is the way it looked out at Martin Luther King Jr. Park. Yeah, I agree.
Who was the other one, that did it? Was it
I
an
don't-
ESPN guy?
I don't.
I think he was looking forward to the junior. As I hear it again, he was looking
Martin
for
Luther-
the ooh and the junior.
Maybe. Yeah. That could very
But it
well
could be the Lou too.
No, I think
Probably
you're
bookending
right.
with Lou and Jew is creates
Let's
that.
say Jew either, but
Sorry about that.
I know what your intent was. You weren't talking specifically about Jews and like, I hate them, anything like that. So it's fine.
Play it again, Jesus.
Oh, I patted it down. Hold on.
Overall, it was great. This is the way it looked out at Martin Luther King Jr. Park. Yeah, I agree.
Did he pause in the front end of that, knowing there was a potential hiccup coming?
It was great. This is the way it looked out at Martin Luther King Jr. Park. Yeah, I agree.
Out at
Mm.
what? Don't say Kuhn. Don't say Kuhn.
Don't
Martin
say-
Luther King Jr.
damn it.
God, fuck. Yeah, he panicked in his go time. He shit the bed in his moment. It's like he got in the race and then tripped.
And he's
you know what I
big.
mean? And anyway, so yeah, I apologize if anyone was offended. by that. So yeah, this national Tawhid group, they've got video of Mulvi Hashim pledging allegiance to ISIS, and so there's a link. So now the news comes out too today that two sons of a very wealthy spice trader. I didn't even know you could be a wealthy spice trader.
Not
but
anymore. That's
yeah,
a huge thing.
Sure. I mean, if you're getting your spice, you're getting it from somewhere, though, right?
Right.
I mean, it doesn't just show up on your door. So
That oregano just doesn't show up in
Hell
your
no.
pantry, does it, Jesus?
and I suppose if you're going to be wealthy, if you're going to be in the spice trading game, you might as well be great at it.
Parsley, sage, rosemary, thyme, any of those just showing up in your pantry?
Hell no.
I like parsley.
Well, you can't even grow half of these things, and it depends on the climate you're in.
Great point.
So, a couple sons of a wealthy spice trader played a key role in the bomb attacks, blowing themselves up as guests as they were going for breakfast at the Shangri-La and the Cinnamon Grand Hotel.
The Shangri-La. Nice.
Yeah. The brothers were in their late 20s, operated their own family cell. It is not known where their parents are. Check the spice fields. That's what I would say, you know what I mean? One brother gave false ID when he checked into the hotel. The other gives a real address. Moron. I mean, that's
Biggie of the
rule
group.
number one of the family cell. Don't give your actual fucking address, dipshit. And so here's where that leads to. So the one that gives the real address, cops are like, might as well. Special task force is like, let's go check it out. They go over there. One of the brothers' wives is like, oh shit, they found us. Big E must have given the proper address. And so she immediately pulls out a bomb, detonates her and the kids.
Oh, shit.
Both of the young children, blown to absolute smithereens.
Smithereens.
I think it took 3 cops out too in the blast. And I was thinking about this. This is better for all involved, not for the commandos, obviously. I can promise you, those young kids were not going to provide shit to the future of the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, chances were.
I mean, might as well nip that in the bud. Take those little fucking soon-to-be jihadis out, at the base, right? I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
Pull them out at the root.
By the root. I mean, honestly, if you can name one thing they would provide for society that's a positive, those toddlers.
Yeah.
I'm up for listening. I mean, does it pain you that? I don't think it does. Anyone in the room. Certainly not me. So, anyways, it was a single terror cell operated by one family. God, I love when families stay together and stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Family business, man.
yeah, it's not a lot of fighting going on in this family. They had cash and motivation. They operated a cell, and it's believed they influenced their extended family. So I didn't want to talk them into it. So now we're trying to find out if there's foreign influence in their radicalization, how the children of such a wealthy family had become involved. What we have gathered is that they had indicated to their close family what they were going to do. The group also planned another attack at a 4th hotel. The other biggie in the family, I'm guessing, sorry, no offense. But the suicide bomber either failed to detonate his device or decided against it or something. He's like, God, fuck, hold on, dude, this won't fucking detonate. Shit, fuck.
He didn't know how to do it, man.
I know that. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Police are also, if you see this out there, they're on the hunt for a van, 3 motorbikes, a cab, and a van. So I swear to God, dude, I think I've seen these guys. Like I remember, like in the last couple days, seeing 3 motorcycles, a cab, and a van.
See something, say something.
Yeah. Could you imagine if I called investigators? I saw a van, 3 motorbikes, and a pickup. He was over here in Birmingham. He's in Birmingham. I don't know how he got all this stuff over here, but he did. So yeah, Sri Lankans across the country took part in 3-minute silence. People bowing heads, reflecting silently on the violence as flags were lowered. And then first memorial services were being held today after they had that state of emergency. Now, Cardinal, we're good with Malcolm, right?
Sure.
We don't need to add, just cool.
I'm good.
Of Sri Lanka, who led the service, urged other churches to delay memorials amid fears there maybe more bombers.
Oh, that'd be the worst, huh?
But is he trying to hog the spot? Because he gets way more press if he's the only guy open for business for a memorial service
Boy,
on that
that's
day.
cynical. That's a cynical thought, but
I wouldn't
not a
think of
bad
Malcolm,
one.
like that, Cardinal Malcolm, but who knows? In the world we're living in now.
Possible.
I urge priests to not conduct any services at churches until I notify. It's like, I've been urging that for years myself. You know what I mean? So they're now hunting for clues on whether this, not the Towelhead group, the Tawhid Jamaat received international support. And here's the question to you, Jay. He said it's not possible for such a small organization to carry out such well-coordinated suicide
Come
attacks.
on, man. You got watches, right? Everybody got a watch?
An iPhone? Clock Boy.
It's not
Clock Boy almost pulled it
possible
up.
to coordinate these.
How would we ever? I mean, it would take 2, 3 trips to the hardware store to gather the supplies needed. We would need the fucking anarchist cookbook. We would need one of
God.
those to make a fucking bomb in
They
our
always
house.
get so much credit for being diabolical geniuses.
Yeah.
They don't have to be.
I'm with you, man. That is it was like, oh yeah, how would you ever get around? It's like, how about you throw your fucking cell phones in the garbage, make a run to the hardware store, pick up some supplies.
Yeah, you see that guy laboring his way through the
Yeah.
village. Nobody asks him anything. He's clearly got something in that goddamn bag.
I know, right?
He's at
no,
like
just Bibles, all Bibles. He's hunched
bent
over.
over like 70-degree angle.
Yeah.
Trying to get down the road with this thing.
Damn guy's ticking as he walks by. He looked like he was pained. It's like he had one of those giant crock pots in there. You know those bombs they
Instant
make?
pots.
Yeah, isn't that what they make them in, the pressure cookers
Well,
or
that's
whatever?
what they did at Boston, right? The Boston Marathon bombers. They used
Yeah.
pressure cookers.
Fuck,
Speaking
unbelievable.
of Chechens,
Yeah, speaking of that, did you see Bernie Sanders?
what about?
Dude, Bernie might be done already. He might be out of the race already. It should be too bad. I think he was polling about 22.5%, leading the way. Biden's very close, even though he hasn't announced. But Bernie said that terrible. Wait, how does Bernie go? Terrible people. It's terrible people. Terrible people such as the Boston Marathon bomber and felons convicted of sex assault, whatever.
Oh, he wants them to be able to vote.
yeah,
in
they got to
jail.
vote.
God,
yeah, vote in
dude.
jail, even if they're on death row or life in prison.
These people have been removed from society.
Yeah.
That's like the point, right? It kills me that they're even allowed to watch TV.
I know that does bother you.
Big
know,
time.
It helps a little bit that they're fed maggots quite often. That warms your heart a little bit.
does.
But couldn't you just go, Mr. Sanders? You know they did take someone else's rights completely away to ever vote. So fuck them. You know, it's just hilarious because now we're on this weird road of like, how progressive can you be? How forward can you be? How humane can you
yeah.
be? And so he says that Kamala Harris is like, oh yeah, no,
Yes, definitely.
yes. That who's the Buddha judge, dude?
Yeah.
The homo, the gay guy that
Mayor Pete.
Mayor Pete. Where's he at? Do you know
I
where
think
he's
he's
mayor?
mayor of South Bend, Indiana.
And he's gay, right? He's
dealt
the
with
gay
that big
one.
fire at Notre Dame recently, as you know.
Yeah, absolutely, sure. But he's the one that he's had people going, how can you get up there and run for president when you're all gay and stuff? It's against God's law. And he's like, well, you know, all right, cool. I can't remember what he said. He had some witty comeback. It was like he was waiting, just lying in wait for someone to bag on him for being a Holmes. And so,
Well, the question I think on the Democratic side that I've heard is he progressive enough? You know, is he intersectional enough? Like he's still a guy. He's still a white guy.
Yeah.
Is it enough for him to be a homo?
that's a huge.
That's the
Wipe
big
Beto
question.
out. Beto's done.
Beto.
Beto.
God.
Nice try with your fucking skateboard and your backwards hat, asshole.
And by the way, I know everybody. When I wear a button-down shirt, I look like fucking Beto O'Rourke. Okay, it's
Yeah.
not my fault.
I think you're hotter
got-
than Beto. I'll be honest with you, but it's similar.
Guys got to go to work every now and then. All right.
Yeah. But Beto thought he was never going to have to suck a dick, and he was just going to fucking skateboard into politics and be a white. Fuck off, dude.
Even after apologizing for all of his whiteness and everything, it's
Yeah.
not getting him anywhere.
No. All he had to do was sit on a couple dicks along the way, take some video, a couple pictures. He would have had a shot. But Buddha Judge comes in all waving dicks in his own face and is like, they're like, that's our guy. But they asked Buddha Judge or whatever, would you be in favor of felons voting? He was just like, no. And the place is
Yeah.
fucking erupts and fucking.
No, finally, like they need to start taking spots on issues. You know, until now they've just been
there's a
like
thought.
ultra progressive, and everybody's like, yeah. But now they have to separate themselves somehow
Yeah.
because they're all just in a big blob.
Yeah, dude, it's so funny though that like you almost think it's the Onion, the news. Like you can't make this stuff up now. Like what is the possible benefit to the fucking Boston Bombers being able to, well, one got his head crushed by his brother, but Joe
Well,
Carter,
the cynics among us, Mike,
Yeah.
would say that felons are more apt to vote Democrat, as are illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
So the cynical version of that would be, well, the reason they want these policies is that they're growing their voter base.
Yeah.
But I'm not cynical.
No, me either. So CNN does a town hall in New Hampshire, and this girl, this Harvard junior, asked Sanders if you support voting rights for all convicted felons, including like Joe Sarnoff. And that's a tricky one because it's like, you know, a guy's doing 20 years for fucking whatever. You can go, he's served his time. He's out.
Yeah,
but
just this nameless, faceless guy. You go,
Yeah.
Joe Jackson. Yeah, he's sold some
Shoeless?
acid to a kid, and they weighed the paper too, and happened to be on card stock. Got
Yeah.
a few extra years tacked on.
he was facing a weekend in jail, but they fucking that card stock got him, man. He's doing life. I
But
mean,
then you throw out a name like that, and it gets real, right?
like, thought you forgot about him. So yeah, he's sentenced to death for the Boston Marathon bombing. Killed 3, wounded 260. So earlier this month, Bernie was coming out saying felons should be able to vote even when they're still behind bars. He reiterated his belief about policies under Republican governors, those damn Republican governors, which he thought they're trying to. I see what you're doing. You're suppressing the vote, right? This guy does a little rape on the side. All of a sudden, whoa, we lose a fucking voter. Suppression.
Right.
Yeah. So if somebody commits a serious crime, sexual assault, murder, they're going to be punished. This may be jail for 10, 20, 50, their whole lives. That's what happens when you commit a serious crime. But I think the right to vote is inherent to our democracy. Yes, even for terrible people. By his logic, though,
Wouldn't just freedom be inherent to everyone? And how do you get put behind bars, though, if we're just meant to be free and we
Yeah.
have these God-given rights like freedom and voting rights and so
Yeah.
forth? Dude, you've
To
been
extend
removed from
it.
society because you are a convicted felon.
Why-
And by the way, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but you get that right back after your probation
some
period?
states, some
Okay.
not all, but
Gotcha.
I think most you do, or you can, but not all. Most states place prohibitions on voting rights for felons while in prison for life, but Maine and Vermont
And moreover,
allow inmates to vote from prison.
66% of what we're talking about is a straw man issue because, as we know, a fucking third of the people, if that, even bother to vote. Not even
Right.
bother to vote.
There's a few other things like if why
How
stop
many
there?
people voted in the presidential election last time?
60 million?
Yeah. I mean,
Of,
come
of,
on.
of 330 million?
Yeah.
Now 330 includes kids and underage too. So, and that was big turnout.
How many adults in the U.S., Isis?
I think is it I don't know how, but like Kim Jong Un, I think 99.9% of the population gets out and votes. I mean, that's how popular the guy is.
They love him out there.
I think Russia's the same way. He's getting like 95% of the vote. And I believe the whole
Amazing.
country votes.
In the 2010 census, it said the number of people under. Oh shit. Let me see. 20.
Jesus.
Well, no, fuck, man. Well, I said. What is a?
damn it.
Well, the question is, what is a percentage of U.S. population over 18? And I just saw a number
Okay.
and just figured that was gonna be fucking.
What was the
it.
number you saw that you're questioning now?
Well, it's clear that was under 18. So the number. Of
Well,
people
we can
that-
reverse it
Yeah.
and figure over.
Yeah, there you go. So what was the number, E? You're holding back.
Oh, Isis.
He doesn't want to say the number.
In 2010, the census, the number of the people under age of 18 was 74 million. I don't know why
Okay,
that's
so
even in this
let's
fucking.
say 250 million, 220 million
Sure.
people.
And this was
you
a
said
huge
60,
turnout.
60 million
I
voted?
thought so. I thought,
Okay.
is that just for Trump? I thought it was like 63 million or something. And she got like 33 million and he got 30. Popular
So,
vote.
If we can apply that to the imprisoned population, what are we talking about, man?
Yeah.
How many thousands of people are we really talking about?
Well, if that's the logic that Bernie Sanders is applying here, for the right to vote is inherent to our democracy, even for terrible people. Because once you start chipping away and you say, well, the guy committed a terrible crime, not going to let him vote, or this person did that, not going to let that, you're running down a slippery slope. And I went, he's got a great point. Now, I mean, shouldn't they get their gun rights back too? Felon, he's did his time. So if I apply his logic, because once you start tipping away, you say, well, that guy committed a terrible crime. We're not going to let him have a gun. Or that person did that. Not going to let that person have a gun. You're running down a slippery slope. So I believe that people commit crimes, they pay the price, they get out of jail. I believe they certainly should have their gun rights back. But I believe even if they're in jail, they're paying the price to society. They should not take away their inherent American right to have a gun, to participate in society. He'd let them have guns by that logic, even in jail. So
Oh, Bernard.
here's the other thing that I don't think old Bernard has thought much through.
By the way, so
Hold on.
100
He was in the middle of a point, and then we'll circle back to you. Don't do that to me. I don't like that.
I thought there was an actual.
No, I know, but I was halfway through a sentence. You do it when a sentence ends, not halfway
I
through
don't
the
think
next
you.
statement.
Well, that,
Where were we?
I was saying the other thing that Bernard has not thought through very well, and he went, but you know the number.
I don't.
Do you
think
remember
that's
he-
what, I don't think that's what happened.
Back up the tape.
I will. Like
Thankfully, we're recording this and can check
Yeah.
that. I believe it will show what Mike is indicating.
Do you remember me saying what old Bernard is not thinking about?
I do, and I was waiting with bated breath.
Yeah.
Bated breath.
You knew that wasn't the end of a statement, right?
I
there was
knew that.
There was something coming.
E, we appreciate your zeal to get the information forward to us, but just wait for this one statement.
Yeah, I appreciate it too, E. I really do, but we'll circle back to that. One thing he's not is there are a lot of small towns in America that are the whole economy for the town is based on the prison in the town, and that's basically all they have. And in some of those towns, the inmate population is equal to or bigger than the actual amount of people
So
living
they're
in
gonna,
these
like,
towns.
decide local elections.
Yeah, they're just going to decide all the local elections, and who knows? Maybe they make their particular crime legal, and they need to get out of jail. Well, they voted. I mean, because if you knew if you could actually change laws, all you got to do is vote. What do they have to do?
Yeah, but you're not voting on law changes necessarily. I mean,
Well, they're
there's
voting in
proposals
elections.
like.
Some ex-con gets out there and goes, I'm running for president of Podunk Fuck USA, and if I get in, all y'all motherfuckers getting pardoned by me. And they're like, shit, yeah. And you don't have enough to fucking
President
cover
of Podunk. I don't know if there's
He
not.
doesn't know shit. He's an ex-felon, dude. The guy shouldn't even be allowed to vote, let alone run for office.
There's not presidents.
But you know what I mean? You got 10,000
I know.
inmates in this prison. It provides work for everybody, and you got 8,000 fucking people in the community.
Yeah, there's something backward about that for sure.
Yeah. Bernard's going, shit, didn't think about that. Fuck. Well, except in
I
those
have a feeling-
examples.
I have a feeling Bernard hasn't thought about a lot of this shit he says.
Yeah, I know, right?
Isis, what's your number?
138 million people voted.
So
which
is it-
meant that of those 138 million people, that made up 58.1% of our voting eligible population.
That's a huge turnout.
man.
Huge.
Yeah.
Didn't they say she
Remarkable.
got 33 million votes?
I don't
thought
remember,
he got
man.
30 million. That's why the whole she won the popular vote.
Yeah, but Harambe got how many hundreds of thousands?
Yeah, true.
And Jill Stein got how many?
Is it possible Harambe got like 10% of the fucking
Harambe,
American vote?
dude, I can't remember where they looked, but they looked at Harambe's vote in a certain state and were like, oh my God, if these people would have voted for Hillary, right?
Dude.
What was Michigan separated by 10,000 votes?
Something like that. Some were even less than that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how insulted like women would be if it was like, are you fucking kidding me? You voted in a goddamn gorilla before one of us? You know? He didn't even speak the native tongue.
Not even.
So, Jussie Smollett, we're done with this fucking piece of shit. Did you see his brother's op-ed?
No, dude.
These people need to go the fuck away.
Yeah.
They need to just take whatever they got in that ridiculous ruling.
You'd think they would have loved to just limp away, tail between the legs, but instead they went off with flying two birds in the air.
Sure.
The lawyers are getting sued, right?
Yes. Yeah, I love that part of the story.
Yeah.
But so he did this op-ed, not for the Washington Post and the New York Times, but BET. So I don't know if he's pandering to, certain members of society when he writes Jojo Smollett when he writes this about it. It has not yet been 90 days since my younger brother Jussie was assaulted on a cold winter night in Chicago. Within less than 3 months, his life has been turned upside down as my family and I have witnessed him endure unrelenting attacks to his character and reputation. This entire process quickly devolved from a focus on him as a victim of assault to him being falsely accused and held responsible for a crime that was perpetrated against him. To define this experience as unjust would be an understatement. There are several leaks from unnamed police sources, despite a long history of wrongful accusations from the Chicago PD. Oh, so we're going to butcher the Chicago PD. They've got a history of doing this sort of thing, do they? Many in the media accepted these unconfirmed reports as facts. They convicted Jussie in the court of public opinion before he even entered a courtroom. So on February 14th, the day the brothers were brought in for questioning as suspects, Fox News reported that the communications director for the police department had begun spreading word that Jussie had supposedly staged the attack, stated the police chief has contacted Channel 7 Chicago to state on the record that we have no evidence to support their reporting and their sources are uninformed and inaccurate. Wasn't that purposely done because Jussie didn't know they were in contact with the twins?
Yeah, I thought there was something like that. Yeah.
That's more
They
important than
floated that.
anything. Yeah, because they were able to show him a picture. Does this look? He's like, yeah, that's them. And they're like, yeah, they're in the back room. Fuckface. Nice job. You just convicted the guys you paid, shithead. So if they had no evidence to support the idea of a hoax prior to interviewing the brothers, then the base for their whole case against Jussie, they based their whole case against Jussie on that interview. The police later admitted that the men made no mention of a hoax until the final hour that they could legally be held. Well, yeah, that was all done on purpose because Jussie didn't know about it. By this time, he'd refused to sign a complaint letter against the brothers, convinced that these men, one he considered a friend, could be his attackers. So, yeah, let's see. And the fact that these two confessed to attacking my brother, yet say it was Jussie who told them to, is all the evidence the police and the general public needed. That fact should be frightening to everyone. Is that all it takes to destroy a lifelong dedication to one's craft and community? Craft. Shut up. You know, unless you're doing arts and crafts, I don't want to hear you describe your fucking career as your craft.
Hate that.
There's a smugness to it, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
You're self-important assholes.
It was like, how do we make it fucking more throw-up worthy than thespian?
Smug and out of touch of you people. It's a craft.
His craft and lifetime dedication
It
to his
so doesn't
community.
bother me as much as it bothers you guys, by the
Really?
way. Not that
You
it
don't
matters,
craft?
but I'm just saying it. I
Yeah,
mean, I
but
get it, but
you're
it's
sick and in a shitty mood, so you're disagreeing
has
with
nothing
everything we say.
that has nothing to do
Well-
with it. It has nothing to do with it.
Why do you not mind craft?
I just because I think that it, you know, yes, I think that most of the time when people use it, they're using it in a smug way. But I think in reality,
name a time they're not.
But that's on my point. I don't think that it is a bad way if someone's not an asshole to describe it as that. If Jeff Daniels were in here right now having a nice interview and he just said, I respect the craft, I don't think that would be that bad.
Saying respect the craft is different.
I don't. Okay,
Don't you think?
Well, it's still describing what they're doing.
To E's point, I think there is a way to use the word in the context of acting, thespianism, if you will.
Sure.
That is less douchey, but it always jumps out at me. I think
I get it.
It's always jumped out at me because at the SAG Awards that became a thing where they all get up and the craft.
Yeah.
This one year I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Like everybody got up and the craft. It was like the new phrase. And so since then it's always stuck in me. Like ugh, I just want to barf.
Shit. To E's point, I think he brought up an interesting angle that I did not foresee, which is Jeff Daniels sitting here because I was ready to pounce. I was going to go, if you think for 1 second we wouldn't at least snigger if he said, oh, my craft, bullshit, we would. We would call him out. We would take him to task for using that term that way. But if Jay asked him, what do you think of, Shakespeare in the Park or something? Well, I respect the craft, but it's hard to get up there in those heavy costumes.
There's a way to use it that's less douchey.
Yeah, right? Like that would be, but it's applying it to, well, my craft. It's almost like
just
those
like
guys that are what do they call them that stay in character forever? They're
Oh my
Character
God,
actors
yes.
or whatever.
is it
Or-
no, it's
It's like Leto doing the thing with the Joker.
Yes.
He remained in the Joker character during the entirety of filming.
I think who's the guy? Maybe he played Lincoln.
Yes, dude. Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis,
is
famous for this. Method actor, they call it.
They're method actor.
Where you
you're
stay
right.
in character all day long. You speak in that voice. I think Jim Carrey has pulled some of these shenanigans. It's like, dude, no.
And trust me, dude, I've had talks recently. Like I listen to both Jay and I listen to a lot of WTF, and there's a lot of actors on there. And I've had talks with my brother and other people lately where it's like, I don't understand. Like sometimes are there actors that's like, is it that hard at times? But at times I know that it
That's
must
why-
be.
Dude, that's why I love Jason Bateman. Not as much as Mike loves
Oh,
Jason Bateman.
guys,
But he got on there and he's just
absolute
like,
treasure.
he's just like, look, it's not that hard. You
Yeah.
know, they give you lines and you say them and you take on this character for a moment. He's like, I just kind
Yeah.
of
Well,
I think it
at this notion that you have to become this method actor.
Why is it then when you watch a porno, it's fucking brutal? Is it just because they get one take, no one cares?
Multitasking, Mike.
Yeah, maybe. But it's like, I don't know how to speak
Yeah.
a line, period.
No, there are bad
There are.
stuff, but
I don't think it would be. I think some people are truly.
It's sort of like athleticism, probably. You either have a modicum of athleticism or you don't. And when you see somebody who just, throws like Lamar Latrell, you go, oh, not an
Yeah.
athlete. And Bateman's just assuming, like, all right, we're talking about all people who kind of fit this base level of
Yeah,
acting.
yeah.
And if you fit us all in there, come on, it's not that hard.
And there aren't that many people. If you look at him, like even Jason Bateman, like almost every role he plays, and he's an American treasure. This is not an insult at all.
He does a lot of the same.
It's kind of the
He's a straight
same
man.
delivery and
Yep.
and like
Smuggy, straight man.
yeah. It's kind of that role, and I don't have a problem with it. I love the character.
well, you know what though? I thought about that too. I was talking about that with Mark on Sunday because I brought up this acting thing.
Mongoloid Aaron Rodgers?
Mongoloid Aaron Rodgers.
Please
Sorry.
do not call
I-
him Mark. You've done that a couple times lately. Stop doing
apologize.
that.
Very confusing.
I
It's
called
very.
him. I did call him Aaron to his face this week.
You can call him 12. You can call him Mongoloid
Fine.
12 or Mongoloid Aaron Rodgers.
I will just say Mongoloid Aaron Rodgers
You can call
from
him
now on.
Mar, but not Mark.
Fine. I will. I agree with that. I will call him Mongoloid Aaron Rodgers.
You didn't jump at the fact to call him Mongoloid 12? I mean, dude, that's not
Nah.
bad.
Mongo 12?
whatever. My point is I was not
Mongo
saying
1-2?
Mark anymore.
Mongo 1-2, yeah.
But I was talking to him about that, and that's another funny thing to me. I said to him because like people get that, and I understand if you're the actor that you're like, man, all I ever done is comedy. I wouldn't mind trying to do something else. But it's funny. I started thinking about it, like the idea of some people like, well, all Adam Sandler ever does is this. It's like, oh wow, he found something that makes him
Yeah.
money, and like no one would say that in your law firm. Would be like, oh, Jay was really good at this one thing.
All he
What
does
an
is
asshole!
Sexual harassment suits.
What a dick!
He's an expert at that. Yeah.
Well, I started to lose respect for it and think, yeah, how hard is it? Like, there's no reason Eminem should just be able to hop on the screen and just be like his role in 8 Mile.
Did
People
really
are like,
well, right?
he did really well, and people are like, this guy's fucking. And it's like, yeah, he's a street fucking kid from Detroit who raps.
Yeah.
How can he be pulling off like heartfelt, meaningful scenes?
Should not be able
in a-
to do that.
No, if it's such a fucking craft, he didn't go to school for that. He wasn't in I have more acting experience than Eminem did before that. You know, when I was on the play The Fish or The Prince, played the Prince who went to Europe and I'd
Right.
sing the song
Yes.
about fish. That was 2 sold-out
Somewhere out there,
performances,
the
man.
Fievel, the
But
Fievel
it
song.
falls into every line, Mike. You talk about how many people come up to you and say, I'm funny. Oh, you should put my friend on the podcast. So there is a thing of like, if it was good, if it was easy, everyone could be that good.
Right,
but I'm
but
just saying, man, I
there's-
know it's not.
But there's a chance I could get on the big screen and just nail it.
There is.
There's no chance I could go, Jay, just hand me what you got so far. I'll take it into the courtroom and finish this off for you.
I agree.
Like, that wouldn't, under any circumstances, work.
You should understand.
Just give me your briefs. Just tell me what your assistants have put together so far. I got to get, dude. We're in court in 30 minutes. I got to fucking review this really quick.
Well, you should understand that
It's absurd.
I started this though by saying, "Is it that hard?" So I'm coming at the prospect of,
Yeah.
God,
it's
he-
horrible.
but I came from the idea of like, is this really that hard? So I'm not saying it's hard. I'm just saying though,
hard. You're
what
coming-
is the? I just wonder, man.
Easy.
No, I know. And Jay has always felt that way too. That's why we're talking about it, and that's why it's more insulting when it's like, oh, the craft.
Yeah, I get
Stop
ya.
it.
Speaking of Eminem, you see that Stan made it into Merriam-Webster?
Did it?
Yeah.
It's a big term,
Isn't that
man.
something, dude?
Yeah, it is.
Where you just coin a term
that
and it goes into
crazy?
the fucking dictionary.
And it's just the character name of Stan was his stalker. And it's
yeah.
just anybody that's a stalker of someone. Oh, that guy's
Overly
Stan.
enthusiastic, devoted fan.
It's crazy.
He's
Yeah.
yeah.
Is there
defined that.
anything that would impress Eminem anymore? Like, he's won Grammy and Oscar, Grammys, Oscars. He's made hundreds of millions of dollars. Respected as definitely top 10 rapper of all time. Some people would say number 1. Definitely a lot of people would say top 5. It's like, starring role, critically acclaimed, this and that. Like, is there anything you can do? Oh, you guys are sitting in the dictionary. He's like, okay.
Well, you know
Whatever.
what?
Whatever. Stan, really? Whatever, dude.
This isn't as much, but I know you used this as an example just a few minutes ago, but me and Jay both have listened to this episode. But Rob Lowe was on WTF, and he's doing a game show apparently now. And what he said was, he's like, it's not saying I'm incredible at what I do, but I've kind of done it all. And so when I go on to sets, I'm usually like, I'm the smartest guy. He's like, he's not because I'm smart, but I've just done it all. And he's recently doing a game show, and he's like, this got me excited because it was something I completely had
Drew
no
Carey
idea.
said the same thing
Yeah.
on WTF. Was like, I wasn't going to do shit. I'd made money, and they were like, and then it was just like, wait, I got to be there how often? And you're paying me what? See you on Monday.
No, a lot of people
You know?
would laugh at the notion like Rob Lowe, what a loser. Now he's doing a game
Yeah.
show. But that if he's being honest,
Right.
when he says that, you can understand
said he
why
was-
somebody
I bet
would,
he is, too.
Yeah, you've done this shit for this craft for 40
Decades,
years if you're
yeah.
him, right? And yeah, you're looking for something else that lights your fire.
Well, he said he looked around and he said he saw his other friends doing it. And like, dude, they're having fun and they're making money, by the way, and a lot of it.
A shitload.
Because it's on
Drew
network
Carey said it's
television.
an embarrassingly high amount of money they pay.
It is?
Oh, he said it's a fucking joke. I can record 3 episodes in a day, and they pay me ridiculous money to do it.
You want
It's
to know
like-
how?
He's like, I had no interest in doing a sitcom. I had no interest in game shows, and it was like, hey, brought it to me. It was like, it pays what?
By the way, speaking of game shows, you know how Jay Chris writes for that, was it Confetti on
Yeah.
Facebook?
There's a couple of them I think he's doing.
He's
yeah.
actually hosting one of the shows coming
he
up
really
in May.
now?
Yeah, he says it
Nice.
on today's episode, the bonus episode 27A.
Another bonus episode. So that's what he's going to start doing. Oh, I'm only
the
doing
guy
2.
just
I know.
He just, like
He's like me
He
in
sends
that
it to me. He's
sense,
like,
but-
I just felt like talking. So here you go. And
Yeah.
I post it, and the fucker just talks for a half hour
know.
without stopping, without a moment of silence.
Yeah.
He just rattles. It's
He loves it.
It's actually a really good episode. Like,
Is it? Yeah.
A lot of people you'd think, oh yeah, anybody can just say anything for 30 minutes if you're just asked to ramble.
Yeah.
But it's coherent. And it
Yeah.
definitely moves.
He's good. He's used to being on stage on a microphone, whether it's in bands or comedy clubs or
He
whatever.
talks a lot about the LA comedy scene and just kind of behind the scenes how that all works.
Oh,
and
I'd
kind
love
of the
to-
politics
yeah.
of it and stuff.
Yeah, he's a weird one. He's always been hard to read. Like if you just talk to him like
Oh,
in a
flat
room.
affect.
Yes,
he
he's
rarely
so,
laughs.
Yeah, and so you say something.
You don't know where you
something.
stand with him.
No, you don't. It's fucking drives me nuts
Does
because
this guy like me or?
I've thought it every time I've met him.
he's incredibly dry. He's funny as shit, but you can say something to him and it's like he doesn't get it, and then you're like, wait, does he think I was serious when I said I wanted to rape all those girls? Like he knew
Right.
it was a really poor attempt at a joke, right? And it's like, well, I mean, it's not good for society. And you're like, wait, is he fucking with me now? Like, it's very hard to pick up on where he is. It's very
Hard to
troubling at
read.
times. Yeah. You've noticed that too, E?
Oh yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
having said that, I always say to Jay, and I'm not saying he's not funny in other aspects, but to me, where he is the most funny is just freaking social media one-liners, man.
Yeah.
That's what he
that
does. He
dude,
writes jokes.
Good.
right?
Yeah. Yep.
Good, short, fucking jokes,
And
man.
not all of them hit. You'll see
No.
some and you'll groan. But
Yeah.
others are like, okay, that's clever. Yeah.
What was the one the other day? Hey, I just want to wish everyone a really happy Easter, except for you.
right.
It's just dumb, but it's perfect for Easter. It just lands. And I find more times than not, if I'm reading his tweets, I'm laughing my balls. He's very funny. But God, what was I gonna say? Oh, the other thing is he's what is the word I'm trying to think of? Where he's always woe is me, almost it's like he
yeah.
takes everything
So
you
sensitive.
say and spins it to be like, well, I guess the show's
Yes, dude.
canceled.
He's
You're
always texting me going, do you think people like my show? I'm like, you're always trying to talk him off a ledge.
Dude,
Chris, keep it going. You're doing great.
I
People like
proofread
you.
before I write back going, what is he going to take wildly out of
Yeah.
context to fucking
Yeah.
spin back and be like, it was like the one, he was like, he did the interview with, and I thought it was great. I thought it was great. Russell Peters.
Yes.
That was a great interview. You could tell they knew each other. The cool thing about knowing someone like that is most times when a celebrity goes on a podcast or a radio show or whatever, any interview he doesn't know, Scott
Started,
Ian,
yeah.
right? It took Scott Ian 15 minutes to warm up to us and realize, okay, these guys are all right. And then he was great. So that interview was able to start right out of the gate. Russell Peters could be himself because he knew Chris and knew Chris wasn't going to set him up for something, And so I was like, hey, man, that was a really great interview with Russell Peters. That was really cool. You could tell you guys got along and this and that. I just want to say, he was like, thanks, man. I appreciate the compliment. And then like 10 minutes later, it was like, so
really like it?
do you hate the ones when I just talk by myself then? I
know,
get.
man.
And you're like, I in no way said that.
So you
What do
picture him reading that and then like sitting back on the couch like,
Yeah,
that must mean he hates the other ones.
Oh, he liked that. He hates everything else I do.
Dude, I hate to admit it. And you're Mike. I bet on some level, you maybe not as bad to that extent, dude. But I can do the same. I'm kind of been the same way.
Yeah,
my whole life,
you're more
dude.
annoying though. I can't tell if Jay is fucking with me.
Yeah.
I can't tell if Chris is going,
No,
this is funny. I'm going to send this because that's not at all what Mike and or Jay. I didn't know he was doing it to you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think of you as doing it. I think you would push him over the ledge besides
No.
help him up. But I'm like, I cannot. Dude, I'll let you read my string. It's hilarious. It's like I say this, he says thanks, and then he accuses me of shitting all over him in some way. And then the next 30 texts are me trying to explain how I'm not doing that.
Yeah. I have a similar string.
He's lucky he's good.
Yeah.
Heroin does, in fact, have a great publicist. So if you haven't checked that show out, you really should, honestly.
should.
It's good shit.
Quick. They're quick hitters, 30 minutes.
I would ask you, like, which episode have you hated the most, but that might actually put Chris in a hospital. I might kill him.
Right.
If we said we liked one more than another.
to even suggest.
Ooh, the fact that I just made that comment is going to make him.
Oh, he already knows it's out there. You just haven't said it.
Yeah, he's double thinking. He's rethinking his association with Jay and me right now.
Well, he's
Based
touted
on
a
that.
guest on tomorrow's episode. He's like, "You're really gonna like this? I've got a guest on tomorrow's."
Unlike those shitty episodes when I talk to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we said.
Hey, everybody, the NHL and NBA playoffs, they are in full swing, of course. So stop on by the Hamlin Pub to watch your favorite team on one of their numerous TVs and enjoy sports specials like the $7 medium hand-tossed pizzas, the boneless wings, or the Nacho Supreme. Of course, these deals are good at all 5 Hamlin Pub's locations, those being Clarkston, Chesterfield, Rochester, and the 2 in Shelby Township.
We never finished the Jussie Smollett's brother thing. And there's a couple points. I won't go through all of it, but so he's trying to say, what if Jussie is telling the truth? He's not, JoJo. Just stop this. Just fucking go away, asswipe.
JoJo.
It's underreported that
Damn. Would you rather be Jussie or JoJo? Real quick.
Jussie, not now Jussie, because of what he's did to
But
the.
you'd rather
he
be
did to the name.
named Jussie than JoJo.
Fuck,
Me
not
too,
even
dude.
close,
Yeah.
dude. JoJo.
I'm with you.
Ugh.
I would just call myself Joe and never tell people it was the other.
Yeah.
The other
Would you add
Joe.
an E?
I dropped the Joe.
Yeah.
You would, but
drop a Joe.
So now you're just a J-O. That's very effeminate.
fine.
Would you add an E?
Yeah, I would.
I think I
On
would too.
social media, yes.
Yeah. So it's underreported that one of the witnesses had previously been arrested for attempted murder.
Ooh.
Ended with a plea deal for aggravated battery. One of the brothers repeatedly expressed homophobia on social media in the past. Crazy. He was arrested, maintained his innocence the whole time, followed by an evaluation before by prosecutors before any court proceedings or a trial. The case was dismissed, dropped completely. I think they determined that the case against Jussie was just too weak. Is that what the conclusion you've come to? I love this one. Important side note, the superintendent of the police department announced publicly that Jussie's motive in staging an attack was so he could make more money from Empire. Fox immediately said that wasn't true. How the fuck would Fox know? How the fuck would
They
Fox
crawled into his head, Mike.
That is a dumb.
know.
Oh, important side note, folks. They said he did this for financial gain. Fox said that's
didn't.
not true.
Fox knows.
As if Jussie would go into the Fox executive's office and go, "Look, it's kind of harebrained, but stick with me here. I want more money, so I'm going to do some fucked up shit. You're going to hear about them later. Whatever." Like they would be aware.
Yeah.
The last people Jussie would want to know that there was some fucking shenanigans going on would be to tell them. It's silly. Easily everyone accepted the ridiculous motive about Jussie's career. Jussie had actually begun directing episodes of Empire, which brought compensation. He worked out a deal with Fox to own 100% of his masters in music. Released an album. Smash. I don't.
Okay.
Led to sold out world tour.
Oh.
In what bars? You can't just say sold out stadium
Yeah,
tour.
I want to know where those
arena tour?
places were. If
What
it's
about
St.
bowling
Andrews
alleys?
or if it's freaking.
Sold out, are they just fans of Empire that are showing up to get his autograph, that kind of thing? Like the people going to see John McEnroe's band play are not there to see
Yeah.
John McEnroe's
Kevin
band
Bacon.
play. Yeah, there you go, the Bacon brothers. My brother was developing 2 films, one of an authorized autobiography of his idol, Alvin Ailey. That's going to be huge, dude. Huge. To suggest he staged his own attack to boost a sagging career is ludicrous. He's got extremely talented people around him, blah, blah, blah. Our system of law and justice has made progress over the years. Here we go, Jay. Racial, religious minorities, women, and the LGBTQ communities have slowly won greater equality and justice, but still a long way to go. This is proof. Here they are stringing this black gay guy up. Would it exacerbates these problems?
Okay.
What?
Dude, so when you say what clubs, here's what I know.
Fucking E.
I see Detroit.
Louis Pizza.
I see Detroit L Club, which is fine. It's a great place, dude. It's a nice little hipster bar.
few hundred people, though.
But dude, the idea that you could
Sold out world tour seems a bit much for the L Club.
Yeah,
What is
see,
it, a few hundred?
I'd have to, dude. I'd have to look, but like, I was looking at other places.
Can you find pictures of the inside of the L
Sure,
Club? Maybe
sure.
even find pictures from that night during his sold out world tour.
Sorry, I just saw L Club. I'm like, okay.
Thought that was weird the way he worded it. He just finished his sold out world tour. He's playing people's backyards all over the fucking globe. He's been an entertainer since he was 5 and loves his craft. He's a consummate singer, dancer, actor, the funniest person I've ever known. Today he finds his livelihood in jeopardy. Jussie was concerned that forfeiting the 10-grand bail could look like an admission of guilt. Oh, it certainly did. Yeah, no doubt about that. In fact, not paying and proceeding with a potentially multi-year process would bankrupt him, and his career was not a realistic option. As a lawyer, can you explain that to me? Because that really makes almost no sense to me, what he just said there. We live in a country that promises liberty, justice, pursuit of happiness. Jussie deserves those guarantees as much as everyone else. Our sisters and brothers and non-gender conforming individuals, progressive and LGBTQ, know very well that being wrongfully accused happens far too often. I'm not asking you to feel sorry for my brother. He would never allow that. Jussie won't have it. Don't feel sorry for him,
I think
guys.
Jussie just wrote this and JoJo signed it.
Probably. He still carries a humility, grace, and knows he walks in more rarefied air than most. I'm simply hoping there are some conscious-minded people out there who, instead of carelessly victim-blaming and shaming, want to loudly ask the simple question, what if Jussie's telling the truth? I've never seen him carry himself with humility and grace. I remember him walking in like a wannabe gangster into
Yeah.
the court with his shades on. That didn't look,
Humble.
humble or graceful in any way. He looked like he was trying to, yeah, motherfucker.
So the L Club, 400 if it's standing, 100 to 125 seated.
Oh, this
bad.
was seating. This was seated.
Yeah, this is a performance. Let's be honest. This is an art piece.
I mean, it's actually a nice little place, but it's just when you say, like you said, sold out world tour, and you hear
Sold out world tour
Yeah,
was what
that's,
his brother said, JoJo.
Yeah,
Shame on you, JoJo. Your credibility is shot now with me. Do not get to say sold out world tour that pushes people down a line that they think. Yeah.
like I said, nice little
Not
hipster
bad,
kind of place.
sure. The Blind Pig is too. I wouldn't throw
Right.
them to a fucking sold out world tour
Exactly.
conversation as well. Here's the best part of this story, though. The Nigerian brothers, they are now suing his lawyers.
Yeah.
Jussie's lawyers just announced today. Abel and Ola Asundero filed a lawsuit against Mark Garagos and Tina Glandy. And I knew Tina was in trouble when she tried to pull that white face. Maybe it was them in the white face. Found a picture of them at a Halloween party.
Yeah, dressed up as the Joker like 8 years ago. So there is a history of this white face with these two.
I'm just going to set that there and do with that what you will. They're not public figures. No. And so for her to go on national TV, on Good Morning America, single them out, I mean, Jussie's a moron. Wouldn't you go, hey, JoJo, thanks, I get it. You're my less talented, chubby brother. Don't put that out to BET. You're just adding more fucking fuel to the fire. Lawyer, shut the fuck up about the brothers. Let's just walk out of here.
Man.
Say I'm innocent. Hey, whatever.
You'd think that's the play, dude.
Stop shitting on the police, tempting them to do more. Like, what are you doing?
It's such a cocky approach to this thing. That's what's so surprising.
Yeah.
Go away, man.
So anyway, they were painted as liars in public, which is absolutely true. Instead of retreating, his legal team have doubled down on their case, publicly painted him as the victim of a witch hunt, all while maligning the brothers by accusing them of lying. They said Smollett directed every single aspect of the attack. I was waiting for this day when we would hear something from these brothers, including the location and the noose. Mr. Smollett used his clout as a wealthy actor to influence plaintiffs who were in a subordinate relationship to him. I hate that argument, but and were aspiring to make it in Hollywood. Mr. Smollett's motivation was simple. He wanted his employer and public to notice and appreciate him as a successful black, openly gay actor. They say it was unfair for Smollett's attorneys to carry on maligning them publicly after the case had been dropped because it served no legal function. There was no reason to bring them even into the conversation.
Yeah, there's a litigation privilege. Like lawyers talk shit a lot, right, during
Yeah.
cases. And if there's a civil suit, like right now I'm working on one where a doctor's suing another doctor because he's claiming his practice, he should have given money back when the one doctor left the practice. And there's some shit in the complaint. It's like, you fucker, man. That's
Like what? You mean like personal shit that...
yeah, like it says, at one point,
cheated on his wife.
No, Dr. X became concerned about billings Dr. Y was making. And it's like, dude, you're fucking slamming this guy professionally. You're claiming essentially that he's engaging in fraud somehow.
Yeah.
And there's some privilege there that lawyers, you can't sue the lawyer because it's litigation privilege where they can talk shit a little bit, and still get away with it, where you're trying to promote your case, because it would chill a person's ability to bring a case if they can't find a lawyer who's willing to put out the facts, because they're afraid of getting sued. But this is outside
Why would they
that
allow that,
context.
by the way? There's the freedom to like sort of bullshit a little bit or defame a little bit.
There has to ethically be some truth, a level of truth to it. So that person would go to their grave saying, hey, my client told me this. I believed it to be true. He showed me this and this. Okay,
Yeah.
it was proven not to be, but I had a good faith reason for saying that.
So it could be something as small. He's not. What was it? He was spending money or not billing
Well,
properly.
he was misbilling patients, so to speak. Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
And that's a big deal for a fucking pro. You're a doctor. This is your goddamn reputation.
Are you kidding
You're
me?
saying
It's
he's
ethically
defrauding people.
Yeah, and your ethics are shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one. There's a couple professions you don't want. Like Nikki Sixx, fine.
Yeah.
You say he's errant
Misbill some
billing,
clients.
whatever. No big deal. You don't do that about a doctor.
Doctor.
Yeah. So Mr. Smollett's attorneys, faced with an outrage publicly, did not retreat after their success. Instead, they doubled down, not affirming Mr. Smollett was a wholly innocent victim, but that the brothers unequivocally led a criminally homophobic, racist, and violent attack against Mr. Smollett. They made these comments knowing they were untrue to distract from Mr. Smollett's farce and to promote themselves and the Garagos and Garagos law firm.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. They went way, way further down the road than they had to. They could
Yeah.
have just let it lie and, like we say, Dude walks off with tail between the legs, done with that issue, moving on. But instead, they came out and they slammed these guys, man.
What would the lawyer's ethical role be if the case gets dropped, right? They drop the 16 felony counts and we're making it go away, leave 10 grand, whatever. If they get in their limo getting out of there, Miss Glandian or whatever goes, oh, these fuckers, I'm going to hit that camera out there and go, and tell them, give them the what for, that goddamn racist Chicago police department. Now, if Jussie went, bitch, please, I kept yeah, fuck yeah, I did it. Shut the hell up. No, don't say shit about them. We got off easy, man. Like, what would the lawyer's responsibility be?
Yeah,
there?
you got to stand down at that point.
You would obviously stand down, but when she's popping off in the media, if he went, let's tone it down. Man.
No, the issue's done. It's signed. It's delivered. It's done.
Yeah, and so
you walk away and you just shut the hell up about it.
I don't think he's talked blabbing to the
No,
media.
that's the thing. I was waiting for him to do it. When the lawyers started chirping, it's like, all right, next up, Jussie's going to start chirping. Somebody's
Yeah.
going to have him on their show and ask him a couple tough questions. He's going to do it. And then it occurred to me, no, he's not going to go on any show where anybody's going to ask him a
No.
tough question.
No.
And he's sat back this whole time letting other people handle his load for him. Here's JoJo writing his op-ed,
Yeah, so stupid. And when he's talking about, the money left behind, his brother going, oh, yeah, bankrupt him if he fought it or whatever. It's like, what are you talking about, man? It makes you look guilty. And knowing Garagos is involved in this too, it's like, did he learn a little lesson or something from Michael Jackson? Garagos was the attorney with Jackson when he paid off Jordy.
Right.
$30 million.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, I thought that was just going to kind of go away. And it's like, no, motherfucker, you gave everybody ammunition forever to go. No one would pay $30 million if they're fucking innocent. It's ridiculous. So, I don't know. Garagos maybe didn't learn his lesson. It's like, yeah, just pay the 10 grand and it'll go away. No, dude, that makes you look really
learn a
fucking
lesson.
guilty.
I mean, that's a huge tool in the arsenal of a litigator is settlement. Settlement is something that just happens. The person could not be liable at all, and you're just like, look, if you can get it to go away for X, you do it.
I think that's true when you're talking about 100 grand. $30 million, dude, is...
It depends on.
I hope Jackson didn't just walk in there and go, I'll give you $30 million,
Yeah.
dude. They're like, dude, I had him down at like $50. He's a kid. He doesn't know any better.
It's like the
The Kramer. Is that what you're? Oh, I thought you.
Yeah, for lifetime
Jackie
coffee. Or
Childs.
something.
So
So,
put the
yeah.
balm on.
Yeah, let's see here. Is there anything? I don't know. Yeah, so he's going to sue. I hope he gets paid a lot. And it's weird, too, that those brothers were standing outside the grand jury room, walking in the door to testify when the whole thing, the whistle was blown, everything was called off after Smollett's lawyers jumped in there, and and then all of a sudden everything was dropped. They were literally standing outside the grand jury to testify to the fucking asshole's guilt.
That's how settlement occurs, man. Shit like that. There's leverage points in every case.
I was going to take a break, but we're already almost.
We do
Kind of
not
have
take
to
a break.
take a break.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
Take a break.
Okay, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break. TrickCast continues now, bitches. Here are Mike and Jay.
All righty. Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm Mike and Jay. And Brunei is coming out on the offensive. You know, people were kind of...
The Sultan, right?
Yeah, the Sultan and, I guess the whole country, basically. But, people got a little upset at that whole, oh, my God, you suck a dick and we'll kill you, stone you to death.
Yes, that whole policy.
Yeah, that whole, Sharia policy that seems a bit harsh to most human beings.
Humans, right?
Yeah, most humans that aren't,
Thinking, feeling humans.
right, living back 3,000 years ago like they are back in the Stone Age with their laws. They're coming out now. Saying they're defending this new law by saying, look, the convictions will be very, very rare for something like this because it would require 2 witnesses of high moral standing. So, that's all I needed to hear, So, in a letter to the European Parliament, the kingdom's mission to the EU urged politicians in Europe to show tolerance and understanding towards its decision to bring in the punishment. Sort of like the tolerance and understanding they're showing to gay people, right? Please.
They're asking for, I don't understand, what?
They're asking for, look, we put in this new law where we'll cut off a hand, foot, if you steal something. If you suck a dick, you get stoned to death, whatever. Please have some understanding and tolerance towards our decision to bring this sort of punishment.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The criminalization of adultery and sodomy is to safeguard the sanctity of family lineage and marriage to individual Muslims, particularly women. So, as far as family lineage, 2 homos aren't going to fucking continue some sort of... they can adopt a kid, but I don't think... They haven't figured that out yet. Butt pregnant or whatever, back pregnancies. So the penal sentences for Had, which is the stoning to death and amputation...
Penal. Seems apt.
Yeah, it sure does. They should change that word, imposed for offenses of theft, robbery, adultery, and sodomy have extremely high evidentiary threshold, requiring no less than 2 or 4 men of high moral standing and piety as witnesses, to the exclusion of every form of circumstantial evidence. So apparently 2 bitches come and say, we saw these guys butt fucking in the living room.
Yeah, they don't respect their say, right?
Please, sweetheart, go home, tits. Go home, sweet tits. Nothing to see here. So 2, or why would you need 4 if 2 suffices? If 2 high-standing moral guys in the community say, I saw 2 guys butt fucking in their kitchen. Like, nah, find 2 more that saw them too, man. I don't know. No. You said 2 or 4. We're choosing to go with 2. We have very high moral standards. We saw them butt fucking in the kitchen.
Huh. But remember, Brunei is not an Indian
It's
nation.
way funner to do in an Indian
okay.
voice, though. And it's, yes, we said 2 guys. It doesn't seem like something that the Asian community would say,
Well, south of Vietnam.
I know it is. So the letter also claimed it would be extremely difficult to find one in this day and age, to the extent that convictions of Had may solely rest on confessions of the offender. So they're like, some guy comes into court and just goes, look, man, I've been butt fucking this guy for months, usually in my kitchen. Like, thank you for coming forward. Take him outside and stone him. So unless that happens, it's very, very low risk of it coming to that. Sent before a vote last week, in which MEPs, what are MEPs?
MEPs.
MEPs? It's all caps, MEP. I feel like I should have read that somewhere in the story already. They don't usually just throw an acronym in, or you know what I mean? Muslims, in which...
Military Entrance Processing Station?
I think it's... in which it's something with Muslims and penis. I just don't know penises. I don't know what the E stands for. That's my guess. Muslims exclude penises. Back to resolution by a show of hands, strongly condemning the entry into force of the retrograde Sharia penal code. Parliament also called on the EU to consider asset freezes, visa bans, and blacklisting of the 9 hotels that they own. Which George Clooney, Sir Elton John, and
they were all
Ellen
over that.
DeGeneres. Yeah, big time. They're no longer staying at those hotels, which is impressive. None of us norms would ever stay at those hotels anyway. So it's really on the George Clooney's, Sir
They'll
Elton
feel
John's.
it in the pocketbook.
Oh, the Sultan is going to feel this one bigly, okay? He's only worth, what, $40 billion? So what's that? A couple grand a night he's losing at the Four Seasons or the Beverly
Eventually,
Hills?
he'll feel it bigly.
Eventually, yeah. Well, or you know what? You're punishing his great grandchildren somewhere down the line. You know what I mean? That's a couple grand out of their pockets. Under the new laws, the capital penalty will be imposed for blasphemy. So capital penalty for blasphemy or hearsay against Islam. If you're like, man, I'm not feeling it. Islam's kind of fucking full of shit. It seems hypocritical in a lot of respects.
Done.
Stone him to death. Capital. Beheading, stoning. Those caught engaging in lesbian sex, 40 lashes. Not the end of the world, right?
Because that's kind of hot, right?
Especially-
everybody,
Yeah,
even
I
the
know.
Bruneiese.
Even the British like, I can't blame him. I
Recognize-
love pussy too. I get it. I'm a huge fan
Nothing
of titties.
better than chick licking a pussy.
Who doesn't love a pussy and some titties in the face? They will get 40 lashes. If that person's into BDSM, this is a fucking great day out, you know?
Wow.
I'd go in there every day. Yeah, but couldn't help it. Licked box again last night. Go out there. She's putting her own mouth red ball gag harness set on. They whip her ass. So, and then it's 40 lashes. Thieves will have their right hand chopped off, not the left. Right hand.
What if you're left-handed, though? Wouldn't that be fair? And shouldn't you adjust for handedness?
Yeah, that's a great
You're
point.
left-handed, you're like,
Because isn't that what they do? They take your right hand and then your left foot if you're a repeat
Yeah.
offender. So would you just flip it and go, no.
Yes.
That man throws a left-handed curveball, take his left hand.
Correct.
And then his right foot. Yeah.
should be asked in advance what hand you use to wipe your ass, and then cut that one off.
Yeah.
Because as Chad has indicated, it's very difficult to relearn that.
Might not be the end of the world though. If you can convince your girl to wipe your ass for you, dude, that is a win. That might be worth sacrificing your hand, to be honest with you.
Gross.
Now, blasphemy, I wanted to look it up because that's bigly bad. I mean, that's instant death. You know, we'd be fucked, dude. How many times have we said "God damn it" today? Like, dude, blasphemy, the act of or offense of speaking sacrilegiously about God or sacred things. Is that what they deem to be sacred, or is there
There's
a
got to be a rule
spectrum
book
there?
somewhere, right?
You know, can someone
Jesus,
tell
spin the
me
rule book.
Sharia law sacred things? I want to know what they consider sacred. I don't want to make a mistake.
I know.
I was thinking about a nice summer vacation.
I'm walking on eggshells over here. Jesus.
How did I know that it was sacrilegious to wear a bright orange sweatshirt when walking the streets? You know, I gotta know. So, profane talk.
Oh boy.
I mean, isn't that just such a spectrum of a, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're fucked. I think I just am now. Like if I land there, they're just gonna whip me off that plane and beat me to death. Profanity, profaneness, sacrilege, irreligiousness. I didn't even know that was a word.
Irreligious.
Irreligious.
Like irregardless. That's not a word.
I saw someone on the news the other day say that. Irregardless, and I went,
You
no,
lose
I lost.
immediately. You lose respect.
He had a prominent role too. It was someone like in a national security role in the federal government.
Irregardless.
Irregardless, I went, oh, he's a moron. Cool. Just regardless.
Man knows nothing.
Take away his entire career, right? Gone.
Jay tell you that irregardless wasn't a thing, though? Didn't you not know?
I'm not a fucking federal government employee, but no, I think I knew regardless was right and irregardless wasn't.
Okay.
Well, now that he knows,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to call everybody a moron who says irregardless. And I seen is unacceptable too.
my
That should be
God.
blasphemous, really. So irreverence, I don't even know what irreverence is. I might be committing irreverence every day.
you're irreverent.
I am.
You are.
I felt like I was. Taking the Lord's name in vain, that's definitely goddamn it, right? Mm-hmm. Swearing,
What if you just say Marcel? Are you safe with just a Marcel?
I think you can, yeah, but if you went fucking Marcel,
God damn it, Marcel.
swearing,
Done. You're done.
curse.
Done.
Is that overkill? Cursing,
Done.
impiety? I don't even know what that is.
Impiety? Really?
Impiety?
Not being pious, Mike.
Yeah.
Well, what is pious?
Well, you're not
like
married
it
and
sounds
you're
like
having
something
sex,
you eat.
right?
Oh,
So-
we're having pious for dinner.
Yum, I love pious.
I love pious. I love
Apple
blueberry
pious.
pious. Impiousness, huh?
I thought it was piety.
You're really
but-
covering those bases
Piety.
to make sure.
Yeah.
Ungodliness, unholiness, desecration, disrespect.
It's the belt and suspender approach, Mike.
Dude, that encompasses so much. That's death.
Disrespect.
That's capital. That's like, my neighbor has not mown his lawn for 3 weeks. It is disrespectful to my property. It makes the whole neighborhood look like shit. No, I didn't say that. He's being disrespectful to the neighborhood.
Lots of gray area there.
Yeah, I mean, that just covers everything. I'm not going there, dude. There's
wouldn't.
no way that I'm going to follow all of those blasphemous rules, let alone, I mean, God knows if I got on a crazy whim and end up butt fucking in the kitchen, leave a window open, the blinds open.
God knows.
I mean, that's
Amazon.
rare, but the idea that I'm not going to swear for 2 weeks on vacation.
Hey everybody, please use our affiliate links. You'll see our Amazon and Groupon links above the
Amazon.
fold at DetroitCast.com. Click on them, shop away. Doesn't cost you any more. The key, however, is that you're clicking through our links. Also, make sure you're shopping MyPillow.com for all of your bedding-related needs, including the geezers.
Yes.
Use TDC code, so you punch in TDC when they ask for the coupon code for the very best discount.
Dude, I watched
I
him
talked to Dawn earlier today
Dawn?
from My Pillow.
Yeah?
Yeah, she's like, "How are you doing?" I'm like, "Good, I'm doing good," you know. And we were playing a little phone tag for a couple of days, but she's like, "Yeah, Mike's doing really well. He just had that the movie do really
Unplanned.
well, unplanned." I was like, "Oh wait, is that the one?" Da, 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 da. And we were going back and forth, and I was wrong about it, but I did see some interviews about it. Apparently, did really well.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh yeah, he did that. He's backing that movie and did it for like $6 million bucks." And she's like, "They're just in the money."
Nice.
Because it's done really well. And I was like, I got to be honest with you, Dawn. I don't like people, so I didn't give a fuck about abortion. I was like, whatever. Too many people on the earth, anyways. But I said, last couple of years really started come around on that. And I hate that argument of that's my body. Don't tell me as a woman what to do with my body. It's like, do you, girl? It's the body growing inside you that people have a problem.
Yeah.
That's the one you're not allowed to
That's
take out.
the one.
Yours, do you. I don't give a shit what you do to your body. How about we take that living thing out of your belly first, and then we let it decide whether it wants to do something
Great
like
point,
kill
Mike.
itself. You start thinking about it, and if you really sit out, she goes, Mike, I did the same thing. I was like, yeah, woman's right to choice. It felt like a real woman's move push type of thing, and it's like, the more you really think about it and watch
How about all those little baby females that you're not protecting?
Yeah, no,
when
what
you're
are
taking
dude,
that woman's right.
They won't even take their word. Their word is worthless as far as
Worthless.
Sharia goes.
Worthless.
I mean, dude, 4 of them see you butt fucking, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So women are disrespected anyways. But it was so funny. We both had this kind of come to Jesus moment over the last couple of years. Like, yeah, that is kind of fucked, man. That is kind of a fucked up thing. I'm not going to go fight for him or anything like that. But I can sit back from afar and go,
You now believe it's a baby.
yeah, I kind of do. Yep. Sure do. Yeah, and it's not religious with me at all. I don't care about
science.
that. It's just the reality of what it is.
No, that's the thing. I think the choice side always tries to point at the other side and go, you're religious nuts. You're religious nuts.
keep your religion out of my
It's like,
fucking.
well, you can look at the science. You don't have to just rely on God's word about it. You look at the science, and it's hard to argue that the thing's living. So
How dare you even mention science? Jay, science isn't a thing anymore. Guys and girls and what? Science?
I know.
How? What a fanatic.
You ever see Louis C.K. talk about that doing his bit when he's like, the people that want to control your body, they're, what does he say? Something like they're, involved in your business and that, this and that, or they think you're literally murdering a fucking baby.
Yeah.
And wow, you can understand why they
Right.
might be upset by that.
not trying to step on your rights. They just think that's a baby.
They think like it's a baby in there and you're murdering it for no good reason. And that's, if you think about it like that, that's really fucking bad. If you're just murdering babies. Good shit. But anyways, so yeah, if you haven't seen it, I hear that movie's actually pretty damn good, based on the true story of
An abortion doctor that changes, or at least a person who's
Yeah.
recommending abortions, working for Planned Parenthood maybe, and then they switch. They
yes,
flip script.
She flipped teams.
Yeah.
yeah. She was straight all her life and then went gay at the last chapter. You know what I
That's what
mean?
it's about.
Yeah, same type of thing. You know what I mean? Like I believe really strongly this, and it's like, oh shit, I like sucking dicks too. So and they switch teams because that's. I think you're right. She was either a doctor or a Planned Parenthood person that saw over time and just went, yeah, I was wrong.
That's a life.
Yeah. So I don't know. He's got some other things coming too. Some not just geezer sheets.
Some exciting new products.
Yes. Movies. He wants to get into movies, like big time shit. He doesn't want to do little piddly ass things.
Yeah.
Because remember, he's like, Christian movies historically stink. I don't want to do stinky movies.
I watched him doing a Facebook Live video the other day of him making a commercial, and that was kind of interesting because they rolled it. The Facebook Live, they rolled legit. So you heard him start like him doing the My name is Michael Lindell. Oh, sorry. Let me do it again.
Oh, that's cool.
It was like behind the scenes of it, and people, well, what if you said it this way? No, some girl at one point goes, well, what if you mentioned, because he's at this one store, I guess, or wherever, and he's like, what if you mentioned it's been 10 years? No one cares about that. 10 years, no. And then he just goes into whatever he thought was important.
It's great stuff, man. The fly on the walls. It's funny too. Whenever I talk to Dawn, I cannot help it. I can't just be like, yeah, we've got those Giza sheets. They're great. I always have to be like, yeah, I'm telling you, the guys love their Giza sheets. And she laughs every fucking time you go to a Lindell impression. It's the easiest room. I love it, you know?
Yeah, she is an easy room.
Yes. I was like, Dawn, he said once he was doing the thing in Minnesota, and then he was coming with his charity here to Michigan, and he said to us, first place I'm going when I get to Detroit is to the Detroit Cast Studios. I'll be in studio with you guys. Best podcast out there. She's laughing her ass off. I'm like, I had to call Dawn every day just to feel better, you
Yeah,
know?
she's good.
I don't have to talk too much. You want to do one email?
We do have some email.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Frank writes in, love the show, guys. You do a great job. I listen to quite a few podcasts. I always make sure to listen to yours first. Watched a couple of movies last weekend. Deadpool 2. There's a docking joke near the end of the movie. Did you know that? Deadpool 2? Guess it doesn't surprise me.
I think I did know that.
Frank says, I looked
It's a
on
great
YouTube.
movie, by the way. It might be my favorite movie of last year.
Really?
Fucking loved it. Deadpool 1 and 2. Just brilliant.
Frank couldn't find the YouTube clip, but says it happened. He also says the movie Skyscraper, there's a perfect example of Mike's look up, locate, step to the side. And I do remember that scene. 2 kids in the movie, they're in a fiery indoor garden when it happens. And sure enough, yeah, there is a
Tree comes down on
tree
them.
comes down, dude.
They didn't heat our
Well, it
voice.
separates the kids. It totally changes the whole movie. I mean, The Rock has to stay in the skyscraper to save his shitty daughter, who was on one side of the tree. The son gets saved with Nev Campbell, the mom.
Wow.
So it's a
is this
huge
the
moment.
Is this the like?
It's Die Hard, essentially.
Right. But is it like there's a earthquake going through town, or is it something like a terrorist? What is it? Literally Die Hard?
It's the terrorists essentially set fire to this massive skyscraper.
Oh wow.
And boy, I don't want to
It looks
spoil it.
stupid to me, to be honest with you.
It's actually,
Yeah.
dude, it's pretty good, man.
Okay.
I mean, if you're
Is it Hans Gruber that sets the
No.
fire? Does John McClane? Is that who he's playing? The Rock? Is he playing John?
See, I can't stand the John McClane character. He's so overly dramatic.
That's right, cowboy.
Yeah, bud. You know. Yeah, partner.
Yeah.
partner.
Yeah.
Hang in there, partner.
Hang in there, cowboy.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day our kids are playing on a swing set together. He's peeling glass shards out of his fucking feet. Yeah. Throwing them in the sink.
Lighting a cigarette with the Zippo. Overacting it the whole way. No, The Rock's
What are you,
good,
stupid, Hans? What are you, stupid? Give you a loaded
Clay.
gun.
Clay. Bill Clay.
Bill Clay.
Now, Skyscraper's worth a watch if you're into that the action movie thing, which I'm not necessarily, but it's a good Die Hard redo.
As Die Hard didn't have too many outrageous stunt, like no one's gonna jump off a fucking plane, a helicopter into 30 feet into a building. You know what I mean? Like, isn't that's what I thought when I saw?
He didn't jump off a helicopter into the building. He jumped off a crane, man, because the crane wouldn't extend any further. What do you want him to do?
Yeah, that's true.
He's got to clear the 30 feet. Now, granted, he's up 120 stories,
Yeah.
so these things
Think
happen.
about that, but it wasn't a CGI. I imagine this is just gonna be a CGI fest.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
little bit.
Did you watch? It is. Yeah.
I've seen it. Me and the little Sweet Pie.
You watched
saw it.
Sweet Pie was able to watch.
Sweet Pie loves action movies.
Would Peanut be okay if I showed it to watch it with Peanut? Because, dude, I'm getting beat up online a bit because I showed I was watching The Walking Dead, and Peanut's sitting there with her ears up watching her TV,
no,
and I took
yeah.
a picture of her.
She's too young.
That's what people said. She's way too young. But then now she's into Game of fucking Thrones, dude. She's doing the same thing.
GOT.
Yep.
Frank adds, he's the guy, man, who donated the $500. So thank you, Frank, to donating to SOS for the Christmas card.
Oh,
from
yeah.
Clark. So,
Dude, it's been sitting
that.
here. I've set it aside forever. Can we get his address, mail it to him, E? Do you have?
I'll follow up with that.
Thank you. Yeah, E and I have talked about it a couple times. Like, dude, do you know who this was? I mean, I can't.
He's
I've
the
got
guy.
it, so good.
So
Good.
thanks to everybody who donated that, and we will
Thank you,
save the
Frank.
rest for tomorrow.
Yeah, and please, guys, go check out Look at That Poops. Look at That Poops. It's a channel on Facebook we started.
YouTube.
I'm sorry, YouTube. And I'm loading videos every day. I've done a bunch for listeners and keep adding them. I'm inundated with fucking stories about these pets and pictures. So be patient. I'll get to as many as I can. But go there and subscribe. If we get to, how many subscribers do we need?
We need to get to 1,000 subscribers.
1,000 subscribers.
We're doing very well in the views. We just need the subscribers.
It's hours and hours and hours of views. But if we get to 1,000 subscribers, we can monetize.
That's the key.
So we've got, I don't know, 300 subscribers or 250 in a week. So if you haven't, please do that. That's very, very helpful, and hopefully we can have fun with this. So, but yeah, send the emails to Talking Poops, not Proops, Talking Poops, POOPS @gmail.com. Best place to send it, otherwise it gets lost in all the different slots I have to collect, messages from people. So that's the best way to do it, for sure. All right, have a great rest of the day, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us, and I guess that's it. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.